everyone, how are you all? Hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to take the next topic in federalism, which is decentralization in India. In the last videos we have discussed what makes how federalism is practiced in India. There we saw there are three pillars of practicing federalism. One was linguistic states, then language policy, and then center-state relations. And we concluded that gradually India is becoming more and more federal with seeing the center-state relations. We compared era before, Congress monopoly and after coalition government, right? So now India has become more federal if we compare just after independence. Now we are going to see decentralization in India, which was initiated in the year 1992. Actually, what such thing happened that we say decentralization took place, we will see here. First, we understand that what is the meaning of decentralization. Now, before studying decentralization, we see what is centralized plan. Centralized means when everything is under center, okay? When powers are more centralized, okay? So, decentralized means when powers are diluted to the lower levels, okay? So, already there was constitutional provision of power sharing between center and then state, okay? So now with the amendment of 1992, one more level, local level was also made. Okay, local level actually it was already there, panchayat system or municipalities, they were already there, but they were not organized or not systematic, or they did not have any power which came from constitution. Okay, there was no constitutional provision, but now with 1992 amendment of the constitution, they were given guaranteed powers, okay, to the local level government. So now powers are taken from the center and state governments and given to the local level. It is called decentralization. Okay, we can understand this from the example of you might have seen few chain restaurants, right? So these chain restaurants, they are very good examples of decentralization. Let us take that there is one hotel. It has a number of chains in different parts of the country. Now, if the owner of the hotel, he remains, responsible, or he keeps all the powers with him, then it may become very difficult, not may, actually it will definitely become very difficult for him to focus on all the chains, right? There can be hundreds or thousands of chain hotels for that. Okay, so it will be very difficult. So it is easy for him to decentralize his powers, okay? So decentralized structure can help him managing all the chains, okay? So the local hotel managers, for example, here we have Honest in Gandhidham, we have, okay? So Honest, it has its branches all over India or even across India, across the world. So they follow the decentralized structure only. The local managers and the assistants, they are given power to make decisions on the support, because whatever situation in one hotel or one place, they may vary from another place. Okay, so all the rules cannot be just made by the owner. So these hotel managers, they are given power, they are empowered to take decision on the support, to handle different kinds of customers, their problems, complaints, requirements, etc. Okay, so this is decentralized planning. In the same way, now if we see here with our topic decentralization in India, where power is taken from center and state government and given to the local level government. Not every whole power, but few powers are given. Okay, previously this was center and centers, and then this was state. Okay, these smaller circles. But now from state, this power is given to the local levels also. Okay, so means power has become diluted, among the local bodies also now. What is the reason for decentralization? Or the question comes that what is decentralization and why there is need for decentralization? Okay, it can come for 3 marks. Then you can first define what is decentralization, which we have discussed here. Then what is the need of decentralization is, first of all, you can say that local issues, local problems, they can be best settled at the local level. You also might understand this, that leaders, those who are sitting in Lok Sabha, they won't be knowing or understanding your problems, living in any of society, any street. Okay, so people, those who are living with you, they would be knowing better than those leaders, those who are sitting in Lok Sabha. Okay, so problems of local level, they should be solved also at the local level only. They can be settled better at the local level instead of involving center or state in each and every matter. Okay, so first is this idea that local issues, they are best settled at the local level. Okay, then second was local people can also directly participate in the decision making. If sometimes a few family disputes, they are also taken to the courts, etc. Now if instead of going to courts, if gram panchayat of that village, it only settles the dispute, because the gram panchayat members, they would be knowing that family also, right? So what can be best suited for that family, so decision in the favor of family or for their benefit, it can be best taken by the gram panchayat, because they know members of their village or the people of their village, instead of going to any court. Okay, it would be really very new, they will be very new people for those court judges and all, right? So it's better that if small issues, they can be settled at the local level only, where people can also participate in the decision making, right? So decisions will be more acceptable. So these can be the major reasons. So keeping these reasons in mind, major step towards decentralization was taken in the year 1992. So what such happened in 1992? We say that decentralization took place. Here we will see few of the changes in the constitution which were made. So in changes in the existing laws, we call constitutional amendment. Okay. So the constitution was amended to make the third tier of democracy. Third tier means the local level now. Otherwise, there were two tiers of the government. Now third tier was also made more powerful. So what are the features of this? First, constitutionally mandatory to hold regular elections to local government bodies. Now before that also elections were held to the gram panchayat, but these elections were not regular. It could happen that once elections have happened in the year 2001, then for 10-15 years there were no elections. Or it could also happen that after 2 years, 3 years there are elections. Okay, so means regularity was not there, so people don't take it seriously. Or sometimes those who have become the sarpanch and or members of gram panchayat, they may become more dominating the village and all, right? So if there is fair chance of losing the power, then they may become more responsible. Okay, so now elections were made, it was made mandatory for the local bodies to hold elections regularly. Second, seats are reserved in the elected bodies and executive heads of these institutions for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes, means SC, ST and OBCs. For them, seats are to be reserved in the local bodies. We have seen that seats are reserved for them in Lok Sabha also. Now, what is the reason behind reserving seats? Because mostly in villages, these people, they stay, right? So they should also not feel neglected. They should also become the part of decision-making process, so that they are also represented in the administration. Okay. Then at least 1/3 of all the positions are reserved for women. Let us say that in one state, the local positions, or you can say local governments, they have 300 positions. Okay, so out of those 300, 1/3 means 100 positions are reserved for women. Many times you might have seen that in many of the villages, sarpanch are women, right? So this is because of this provision, where 1/3 of seats are reserved for women, means mandatory that seat will be reserved for women only. Fourth was, state election commission has been created in each state to conduct panchayat and municipal elections. So right before that, we know that we have one election commission which is responsible for holding elections all over India for Lok Sabha elections and for state level elections. But now one more election commission was made at the state level to hold elections at the local level. Local level means urban local level or rural local level. Urban local level means municipalities. rural local level means for the panchayat, Gram Sabha. Okay, so otherwise there were elections were conducted by the officers and local state level officers, and they were not responsible also for the elections. They did not take any follow up how the elections are being conducted. They were not conducted regularly, but now one body is made for conducting elections. They will be responsible, they will take backup follow up so that elections are free and fair and they are held regularly. And fifth and last was, the state governments are required to share some powers and revenue with the local government bodies, and the nature of sharing varies from state to state. Now, state governments, we said that power is taken from center and state and given to local, few powers. So here, power is taken from state government, some powers, okay, and revenue. So it is mandatory for state government to share some of its powers with the local bodies and share some of its revenue also. Revenue means its earnings, whatever is the, you can say, earning it gets from taxes, it has to share with the local bodies. So it has to give few powers to local level, that on these issues they can take their decision, local bodies. Okay. So now this sharing of power, it may vary from one state to state, okay, because the nature of politics or the nature of governments in each state uh, and the number of people living in particular area, right, and capability of those people, and sometimes the local issues, they affect this nature of sharing power. It may vary from one state to another, but yes, there will be power sharing. Okay. So these are the arrangements under decentralization or the amendment of 1992. The question may come directly also, how you can say that decentralization has occurred in India successfully, or you can say what are the provisions made under decentralization, or what is the amendment of 1992, है ना? Or it can be what steps were taken towards decentralization in India. So you can write these 5 points directly, but before you write these points, you must first explain what is decentralization, and you in short write that what is the need for decentralization. Now, after decentralization, we can now read this point, local level government before 1992. Elections to the local level governments were not held regularly, and local governments did not have any powers or resources of their own. If they have to do a development process or project, they have to start in their village or in their city, they did not have any power or resource. But now, after 1992, it has been made constitutionally mandatory to hold regular elections with local government bodies, and now state governments are required to share some powers and revenue with the local government bodies. Okay, so this is the difference which has occurred before 1992 to after 1992. Now, one more topic, sometimes the question comes that what is the importance of decentralization? Okay, so there actually directly it is not given in your textbooks that what is the importance of decentralization, but the question comes sometimes, even in board exams it has come. So importance of decentralization, you can write these points. First, rapid decision making, because most of the decisions are taken on the support at the same level only, and the approval from the higher authority is not required because the local bodies are given power to take such decisions, right? So the ability to make a prompt decision allows an organization to function its operation quickly and effectively, right? So there are rapid decisions taken. There is not long process to file the case, then wait for your date when you will be called, then again and again you have to go to the city and all. But here at the village level or at the city level only, rapid decision making will be done, right? Second, you can say administrative development. How administrative development? Because the decentralization process questions the manager's judgment and the techniques. When responsibility and challenges to develop solutions are given to them, the questioning method grows confidence and encourages self-reliance and make them a good decision maker, resulting in the development of the organization. Now let us make it simple. What does this mean, administrative development? Otherwise what happens, people always condemn government, condemn officers. Now when these people at the local level, they are given power to take your own decisions, to solve your local issues, you are made responsible for the development, then you become self-reliant, okay? You become a good decision maker, which results in the development of the organization or development of that particular area. right? So more administrative development takes place, and those higher level authorities at a state or central level, they can focus on other development projects, right? Then comes development of executive skills. It allows the employees to perform tasks individually, giving them invaluable exposure. So this individual performance, it creates an environment where an individual can enhance their expertise, their ownership, and more significant responsibilities, and be suitable for promotion. So what happens when these people in the municipalities or in the panchayat, sarpanch and panch, right? There is one sarpanch and five other panch. So you might have heard also this system of government at the local level. When these people, they are given power, they take decision, and after taking those decisions, they execute those decisions. So they develop that executive skills in them. They learn that leadership qualities. They learn, that by taking these responsibilities, so they learn how to look after the problems of people, how to solve or how to execute the plans and all, right? Then it can be another importance can be it promotes growth. So decentralization allows the heads of the department to work independently, because this independence helps the department to grow, have a healthy competition between other departments. Ultimately, the competition will lead to the improvement and enhancement in productivity. You might have seen many a times in sometimes in news or some newspapers, few villages are depicted as a model villages, right? That cleanliness in the village or development process in the village and all, okay, they show as model. So what happens when these local bodies, they are given power to take decision or they are given revenue, etc. So they develop that sense of competition with other villages or with other local bodies. What happens with this? Because whenever there will be competition, each part or each block, they will be trying their best to do, to do for the people. Okay, so there will be improvement and enhancement in productivity. Then comes higher control. Next importance of decentralization. It evaluates and reviews the performance of each department and gives them a comprehensive perspective of their work. However, controlling is the biggest challenge of decentralization, and stabilized management and scorecards are being developed. So now with this, what has happened? Otherwise, let us say that agriculture department or education department and all. So even at state level, there are these departments in the state government. So when these departments, they have to look to the grassroots, right? Each and every village, each and every city, what are the facilities in the, in these fields and all. So it may become difficult for them. Okay, it's better that to appoint few people. Okay, in panchayat, if the local panchayat of that village only looks after the education, okay, or teachers in the schools, or irrigation facilities to be provided to the village and all. If they only look after the matter, then they can give their report to those ministers at the state level, right? So there can be more control. Otherwise, for one person to look after, in one state there can be number of villages and number of cities. It may become very difficult to look after them. So if decentralization is there, if powers are diluted or powers are distributed among the people or at the lower levels, then more, you can say, control can be there, or more, you can say, effectiveness can be there, right? So this question, you can prepare, you can just jot down the points, you would be able to explain, I hope. Then advantages of the decentralization, same, it becomes as the importance only. You can write. It reduces the burden on the top executive, we have already seen, because they give their responsibilities to the lower levels. Facilitates diversification, executive development takes place, promotes motivation, because when you are given responsibilities, okay, you will feel happy from inside, right? Because you will be given responsibility then only if you are capable of that, right? So better control and supervision. So same points we have discussed in the importance of decentralization. There can be some disadvantage also, not many, and the question also may not be asked, but just for your knowledge, uniform policy is not followed. Each and every village, city, and gram panchayat, samitis, jilas, they may have their own method of following policies, or they may have their own laws, they may have their own policies, right, rules and regulations. So uniformity will not be there. And problem of coordination. So many local bodies, how to coordinate with them, it may also create problem, okay, for creating uniformity again. So just for knowledge it was. So your major focus will be on this, that what were the steps taken towards decentralization under the Act of 1992. These 5 points are very mandatory for you to learn them on your fingertips. Actually, no need to learn. When I say learn, I mean read by heart. Okay, read at least 3 to 4 times so that you have the key points in your mind. Okay, so that you score good marks in exams. Hope you liked the video and understood the topic and the meaning decentralization. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching.